Welcome back, beautiful souls. Today, we're diving deep into the most spiritually charged lunation of the year, the blue moon, 9 degrees Sagittarius, happening on May 31st at 4:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is no ordinary full moon. It's a blue moon, a rare amplification point where destiny, truth, karmic endings, and spiritual awakening collide. And this lunation is jam-packed. We have the blue moon conjunct black moon Lilith and fixed star Antares, 9 degrees Sagittarius. The sun spotlighting Aldebaran, 9 degrees Gemini. Uranus, newly in Gemini, electrifying the collective mind. Jupiter in Cancer, standing completely alone, unaspected, and wildly powerful as the planetary ruler for Black Moon Lilith and the Blue Moon in Sagittarius. A karmic square to the nodes of fate and destiny. Mars in Taurus battling Pluto and Juno in Aquarius by challenging square. And a locomotive chart pattern that creates unstoppable momentum. This feels like a spiritual turning point. It's a portal between timelines. A crossroads between the stories we've inherited and the future we're brave enough to initiate. What's a blue moon? A blue moon occurs when there are 2 full moons within the same calendar month or seasonal cycle, making the second full moon particularly potent. Blue moons magnify revelation, culmination, karmic closure or completion, and accelerated manifestation windows. Spiritually, blue moons act like energetic amplifiers that compress timelines. Things that may have taken years to unfold suddenly happen within weeks, when pigs fly. Blue moons often bring fated meetings or reunions, shocking truths, awakenings, endings that ultimately liberate, and rapid soul evolution. Because this blue moon is in Sagittarius, the sign of higher truth, faith, philosophy, justice, and divine perspective, people are being asked to radically reorient their worldview. Sagittarius is symbolized by the archer, the centaur, aiming its arrow toward the heavens. This archetype represents the pursuit of truth and justice, higher knowledge, spiritual expansion, prophecy, vision, and freedom. Sagittarius energy does not tolerate confinement. This full moon asks, where have you outgrown your current reality? What beliefs are limiting your evolution? And what deeper truth have you been too afraid to admit? At 9 degrees Sagittarius, this moon carries initiatory fire. In degree theory, 9 degrees resonates strongly with Sagittarius energy, but also Mars. Conviction, courage, action, spiritual warfare, righteous anger, and protection of truth. This moon is fiery, it's bold, and it's impossible to ignore. There's a mutual reception taking place between the full moon in Sagittarius and Jupiter in Cancer. One of the most fascinating dynamics in the chart of this blue moon is the mutual reception between the full blue moon in Sagittarius and Jupiter, completely unaspected, exalted in Cancer. The moon naturally rules Cancer energy, and Jupiter naturally rules Sagittarius energy. That means they have exchanged rulers. They're in cahoots, working closely together. This creates enormous emotional and spiritual amplification. But there's a twist. Because Jupiter in Cancer is completely unaspected, it stands alone, unchecked, unfiltered, unadulterated. This is the energy of wild horses roaming free, and it can manifest as overwhelming emotions, dramatic flashes of intuition, prophetic dreams, emotional flooding, spiritual downloads, and protective instincts amplifying. Collectively, people will be feeling deeply nostalgic while also craving liberation. Some may cling harder to emotional security, while others will break free from it entirely. This creates tension between safety and freedom, belonging and independence, emotional memory and future orientation. Let's talk about the axis of opposition activated under this blue moon, Gemini versus Sagittarius. This full moon activates the Gemini-Sagittarius information gathering axis. This is about facts versus belief, information versus deeper wisdom, local versus global travel, and logic versus intuition. The Sun in Gemini, conjunct Uranus, now in Gemini, electrifies communication, media, technology, and travel itself. Unexpected revelations are emerging rapidly, especially with Mercury in rulership co-present in Gemini. Conversations become catalytic. People may be abruptly changing their perspective or worldview, exposing hidden truths, and experiencing shocking revelations. Interpersonally, it can create conflicts ideologically, misunderstandings, sudden breakups, surprising reunions, and or unstable communication patterns. Gemini craves options, while Sagittarius longs for deeper meaning. Gemini gathers data and information, while Sagittarius takes that information into mastery. Relationships that cannot evolve intellectually or spiritually may fracture under this energy, but connections that are built on authenticity could deepen. Let's dive into the fixed star symbolism. The full moon aligns with Antares, one of the 4 royal stars. Located 9 degrees Sagittarius, Antares translates to mean anti-Aries, or Mars's rival, and it's located in the heart of the Scorpion. Antares and 9 degrees Sagittarius is associated with intensity, obsession, spiritual warfare or attacks, courage, destruction before rebirth, and passionate conviction. Antares exposes corruption and falsehood, anything not aligned with authenticity. It can elevate people into greatness, or it can consume them through ego and vengeance. With Black Moon Lilith nearby, suppressed rage, feminine power, taboo truths, and shadow desires erupt into our consciousness. People refuse to be silent. Directly opposing the moon, the sun aligns with and spotlights Aldebaran, located 9 to 10 degrees Gemini. Associated with Archangel Michael, Aldebaran is the Watcher of the East. Aldebaran represents integrity, honor, leadership, divine alignment, and the sword of truth. Together, Antares and Aldebaran create a sacred polarity: truth versus corruption, integrity versus obsession, and wisdom versus ego. Regulus for Malhalt and the nodes of fate and destiny. This lunation, this blue moon, forms a square with the north and south node of fate and destiny. The north node is near Fomalhaut, 4 degrees Pisces. Fomalhaut is known as the Watcher of the South, and it's opposing the Watcher of the North, Regulus, the heart of the lion, 0 degrees Virgo. Fomalhaut is deeply mystical and visionary. It represents divine imagination, prophecy, vision, spiritual destiny, dream states, and artistic transcendence. It can also bring illusion or escapism, if not well balanced. This square to the nodes suggests that humanity is at a karmic fated crossroad. Destiny accelerates. Small choices made now echo far into the future. The numerology of 9. The number 9 represents endings, completion, humanitarianism, spiritual mastery, and karmic culmination. 9 is the final single digit. It symbolizes the completion of a soul cycle before it is reborn, like the phoenix rising from its ashes. This blue moon, therefore, may close relationships, identities, careers, beliefs, and other karmic contracts. As one door closes, another door opens. Sabian symbolism. 10 degrees Sagittarius, a theatrical representation of a golden-haired goddess of opportunity. This symbol speaks of destiny appearing suddenly. Opportunities emerge dramatically under this lunation, but the timing matters because you must recognize the opening when it arrives, and you must be able to receive it. 10 degrees Gemini, an airplane falling. This symbol represents the collapse of unstable systems or perspectives. Mental constructs that once seemed secure may destabilize rapidly. This can manifest as ego collapse, shocking revelations, communication breakdowns, awakening through disruption. Sometimes things must fall apart so that even better things can fall together. It could also manifest as literal airline or aviation disruptions. Other major aspects involved in this blue moon. We have the blue moon trine Saturn in Aries. This is stabilizing fire thanks to the presence of Saturn. Saturn in Aries rewards courageous leadership and disciplined action. Despite its emotional intensity, this trine provides resilience. People willing to mature spiritually can build lasting foundations that are planted now. We have Venus and Jupiter co-present in Cancer. This is a deeply nurturing, romantic, and fertile, emotionally expansive energy. Themes include family and ancestral healing around generational curses, home, emotional abundance, protection, and divine feminine energy. Venus square Saturn provides tests to our emotional maturity. Love requires accountability. It's not just a feeling, it's a choice. Some relationships may deepen, while others will reveal structural weaknesses. We have an explosive square between Mars in Taurus and Pluto and Juno in Aquarius. Under this energy, power struggles intensify. Themes and patterns can include possessiveness, control, manipulation, financial tension, stubbornness, relational conflicts, and survival instincts. This can expose deeper underlying manipulation dynamics within partnerships, especially connections that are transactional, a shadow of Mars in Taurus. Uranus in Gemini trine Pluto and Juno in Aquarius. This is revolutionary relationship energy. People are craving deeper intellectual freedom, unconventional partnerships, truth-based connection, and radical authenticity. Old relationship paradigms collapse so that more modern, unique ones can be formed. Chiron, 29 degrees Aries, sextile Mercury, approaching 29 degrees Gemini. Critical conversations bring healing. Words become medicine. This aspect can help people articulate pain they previously could not express. The chart of the blue moon forms a locomotive shape in which 2/3 of the chart is occupied while 1/3 remains empty. This pattern creates enormous momentum, Locomotive charts push events forward rapidly. Things may feel irreversible. Collectively, humanity is being propelled into a new era, a new Earth. If you're still with me, congratulations, you have made it to the horoscopes section of the video. I want to do just a little bit of an introduction here, just in case you are new to the channel. So you can use whole sign, Placidius, tropical, or equal. The most accurate would be Placidius. Equal will help adjust for any skewing for those who are born further away from the equator, and whole sign helps with simplicity. If you have any planets that are on the cusp of two houses, you can interpret both. Horoscopes are technically based on your rising sign or your ascendant. Your rising sign is the constellation that was rising the moment you took your first breath. It creates the entire overlay of your chart, from which you can see what's coming on the horizon. Horoscopes. Predictive astrology is entirely based on your rising sign, which is why time is important. You can listen for your rising sign, your sun sign, your moon sign, your Venus sign, your north and south node, and any concentration of energy, such as a stellium with 3 or more planets or placements. You can listen to all 12 signs and find something to take away, but that would give you a good starting point. Starting with Gemini Rising, happy birthday to any Gemini suns watching. This blue moon activates your 7th house of one-to-one relationships, contracts, and partnerships. Relationship dynamics reach a major culmination point. With Uranus newly in your sign, aligned with the sun, you are changing rapidly. And not everyone can evolve with you. Some partnerships deepen through truth and intellectual freedom, while others fracture under the pressure. Mars squaring Pluto intensifies subconscious tension and unresolved anger. Lilith, aligned with the moon, exposes suppressed desires and unmet emotional needs. Jupiter and Venus, aligning in Cancer, expand your values and your self-worth. But Venus squaring Saturn asks whether your relationships are truly sustainable. Mercury sextiling Chiron supports healing conversations that bring closure. Your voice carries enormous power now more than ever. This full moon may completely redefine what partnership means to you. Cancer Rising. This full moon activates your 6th house of work, health, daily routines, and the mundane parts of life. Your nervous system may feel overstimulated under Uranus and Gemini, especially if you've been suppressing stress or emotional exhaustion. Jupiter and Venus in your sign make you magnetically attractive and emotionally expansive. But because Jupiter is unaspected, your emotions may feel larger than life. You are growing rapidly, emotionally and spiritually. Mars squaring Pluto may expose toxic dynamics within friendships or professional networks. Meanwhile, Saturn trining the moon helps you create stronger boundaries and sustainable routines. Chiron and Mercury bring healing around career wounds or public visibility. This is a powerful reset to your physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Leo Rising. This blue moon in Sagittarius lights up your 5th house of creativity, romance, passion, children, and self-expression. Antares and Lilith intensify desire, attraction, and artistic power. You are reclaiming your authentic creative voice. However, Mars and Taurus squaring Pluto and Aquarius may create tension between career obligations and personal freedom. Some Leo risings are realizing they can no longer sacrifice joy for external validation or performance. Uranus in Gemini electrifies your social networks and your future goals, bringing unexpected alliances or sudden endings within friendships. Venus and Jupiter aligning in Cancer activate deep emotional healing and spiritual restoration behind the scenes. Saturn trining the blue moon supports disciplined creativity and long-term artistic success. This is a powerful moment to courageously share your creative gifts and talents with the world. Virgo Rising. This blue moon in Sagittarius activates your 4th house of home, ancestry, family, and emotional foundations. Deep generational healing is occurring. Lilith and Antares may expose long-buried family truths or unresolved emotional pain. Mars squaring Pluto creates tension between your current worldview and any inherited belief systems. Uranus and the Sun in Gemini radically shift your career path or your public identity. You may feel called toward an entirely new direction, professionally speaking. Jupiter and Venus aligning in Cancer bring supportive friendships and soul-aligned community connections. Saturn trine the moon help you establish healthier emotional boundaries and release karmic burdens. Chiron and Mercury support healing through difficult but necessary conversations. Your roots are changing so that your future can expand. Libra Rising. This blue moon in Sagittarius activates your 3rd house of communication, learning, siblings, and perception. A conversation, message, or revelation could dramatically alter your trajectory. Uranus in Gemini awakens your higher mind and pushes you toward intellectual liberation. Your beliefs are evolving rapidly. Mars in Taurus squaring Pluto in Aquarius may intensify emotional entanglements or financial power struggles within intimate relationships. Venus and Jupiter aligning in Cancer expand your public visibility and career opportunities. But Venus squaring Saturn asks you to balance your ambition with emotional integrity. Saturn trining the moon helps you communicate with maturity and clarity, while Lilith aligned with Antares empowers you to speak truths you once feared expressing. Your words carry prophetic energy now. Scorpio Rising. This blue moon in Sagittarius activates your 2nd house of money, self-worth, possessions, and personal values. Massive shifts around finances and identity are unfolding. Mars opposite your relationship sector squaring Pluto may trigger intense relational dynamics involving control, power, or trust. Uranus in Gemini destabilizes shared resources and emotional attachments, forcing you to rethink dependency patterns. Jupiter and Venus aligning in Cancer support spiritual expansion, travel, publishing, and higher learning. You're being called toward a broader vision for your life. Saturn trining the blue moon helps stabilize your routines and long-term goals. Antares aligned with the blue moon magnifies your intensity and your natural magnetism. You are learning that true security comes from inner alignment, not external control. Sagittarius Rising. This is your full moon, and it's profoundly transformative. With the moon, Lilith, and Antares all in your 1st house, you are reclaiming your identity in a fierce and unapologetic way. The old version of you is ending. Uranus and the Sun in Gemini electrify your relationship sector, bringing sudden beginnings, shocking revelations, or destabilizing changes within partnerships. Some relationships evolve rapidly, while others dissolve entirely. Mars squaring Pluto intensifies work stress and emotional pressure, while Venus and Jupiter aligning in Cancer deepen intimacy and emotional vulnerability. Saturn trining the moon helps you anchor this transformation with maturity and discipline. You are stepping into a new chapter of radical authenticity, spiritual sovereignty, and embodied truth. Capricorn Rising. This blue moon in Sagittarius activates your 12th house of endings, spirituality, subconscious healing, and karmic release. Powerful dreams, intuitive downloads, and emotional purging may intensify now. Antares and Lilith expose hidden fears, suppressed emotions, or unconscious relationship patterns. Uranus in Gemini disrupts routines and work dynamics, forcing you to prioritize your mental and physical well-being. Venus and Jupiter aligning in Cancer expands relationship opportunities and emotional connection, but Venus squaring Saturn, your planetary ruler, challenges you to examine emotional walls and fears of vulnerability. Mars square Pluto may intensify financial or creative tension. Saturn trining the blue moon supports deep inner healing and spiritual maturity. You are closing an enormous karmic cycle as you prepare for rebirth. Aquarius Rising. This blue moon in Sagittarius activates your 11th house of friendships, community, vision, and future goals. Social dynamics transform rapidly. Uranus in Gemini electrifies your creativity and romantic life, while Pluto and Juno in your sign continue restructuring your identity and relationship patterns. Mars squaring Pluto may create conflict between personal desires and family obligations. Lilith and Antares expose hidden tensions within friendships or collective spaces. Venus and Jupiter aligning in Cancer encourage emotional healing through healthier routines and self-care. Saturn trine the blue moon supports strategic long-term planning and grounded leadership. You are being asked to align your future with authentic truth, even if it means outgrowing old communities or identities. Pisces Rising. This blue moon in Sagittarius activates your 10th house of career, purpose, public reputation, and legacy. Major professional culminations unfold now. Uranus and the Sun in Gemini destabilize your home or family sector, creating rapid shifts within your emotional foundations. Mars squaring Pluto intensifies communication and may trigger confrontations or power struggles. However, Venus and Jupiter aligning in Cancer bring enormous creative, romantic, and spiritual expansion. Your heart wants joy, beauty, and emotional fulfillment. Saturn trining the blue moon helps you build lasting success through discipline and integrity, while Chiron sextiling Mercury supports healing your voice and reclaiming your confidence. This blue moon asks you to align your public path with your soul's deepest truth. Aries Rising. This blue moon in Sagittarius activates your 9th house of belief systems, travel, spirituality, publishing, and higher learning. Your worldview is transforming dramatically. You may receive shocking information that completely changes your future direction. Uranus and the Sun in Gemini electrify your communication sector, while Mercury at the critical 29th degree bring fated conversations and healing through honesty. Mars and Taurus squaring Pluto in Aquarius may intensify financial pressure or power struggles around self-worth. Meanwhile, Venus and Jupiter aligning in Cancer amplify emotional themes surrounding home and family. Some Aries risings may relocate, or they may redefine emotional security entirely. Saturn trine this blue moon helps you step into mature leadership. The old version of yourself is ending. Your new path forward requires courage, faith, and radical truth. Last but not least, Taurus Rising. This blue moon in Sagittarius illuminates your 8th house of intimacy, shared resources, transformation, and deep shadow work. Antares and Lilith here expose buried emotional truths, especially within relationships. Mars in your sign, squaring Pluto and Juno in Aquarius, can trigger intense power struggles, possessiveness, or identity shifts. You are learning where control has replaced genuine vulnerability. Uranus and the Sun in Gemini destabilize your financial sector, bringing surprising expenses or opportunities. Jupiter and Venus aligning in Cancer support healing through communication, community, and emotional honesty. Critical conversations may completely alter a relationship dynamic. Saturn trining the blue moon helps you release karmic baggage with discipline and wisdom. This is a profound rebirth cycle. Something hidden is surfacing, so you can finally transform it. This blue moon in Sagittarius is anything but subtle. It's catalytic, revolutionary, fated. It asks us to release outdated beliefs, confront uncomfortable truths, and courageously aim our arrow toward a higher future. The question is, will you cling to the old story, or will you trust where your soul is trying to lead you? If this resonated, let me know your rising sign below and tell me how this energy is showing up in your life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's navigating major life transitions right now. And as always, trust the timing, trust the unfolding, and most importantly, trust yourself. Thank you for watching. If you're still with me, you're a real one. Drop your current most used emoji in the comments. If you took anything away from this video, we ask that you like, comment, share the content, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, we know that you'll enjoy the full playlist and this additional video. Thank you so much. Love you, and see you soon.